Well, I'll be changing up the format for the videos going forward. Um, Been having longer videos recently, almost an hour long, but I realized I was rambling a lot and kind of running out of stuff to say, and I think it's just not the right format for what we're doing. So what I would like to do is break it down into multiple videos a week between 5 to 15 minutes and have it more focused on a couple of things, so that way I can shoot each video throughout the week, get some more practice editing, stitch stuff together. It'll also be easier for me to finally figure out the camera situation and maybe get one of my siblings to run the camera so I can actually show what we're doing rather than just running around with the phone running my mouth. Um, but on that note of being a little more specific with what we're doing here, um, we have put up a deer fence. And you can't really see it, and that's part of the point. We did not want, oh, let me get out of the sun here. We did not want to build this massive fence. Deer in this area, you need about an 7 to 8 foot tall fence in order to keep the deer out of your garden. Now, there's nothing in the garden to eat right now. We've got some beans. Probably the tallest things are the beans and potatoes right now, but there's nothing but the greens to eat right now. They don't really want that. But we wanted to get this up as soon as possible. Um, yeah, so we didn't want to build this big old ugly 8 foot tall fence that would just get in the way, and it's expensive. Lumber is expensive, or if you were to build it like barbed wire or something, just a bunch of ugly metal sitting there that can't be used for anything, and it's just a fence to keep the deer out. Um, but we needed something to keep the deer out. Now, we had done some research to look at, hey, how did people used to do this? The indigenous tribes in this area before European colonization, um, they grew stuff. They grew squash and beans and corn of various kinds. Think I remember reading they cultivated berries to some extent. Um, so they grew stuff and they had deer. So how did they deal with this? Well, from the little bit of research that I did, um, mostly they hunted the deer. Many statistics currently show or estimate that there are about 4 times as many deer in Indiana this year as there were like 400 years ago. So now I don't know where they get that data, so I'm not going to swear by that, but that is the information that I have been given based on the ever trustworthy internet. That's sarcasm, but yeah. So there's a whole lot more deer, and they would just, they would hunt them, and or the deer would know where human settlements were, and they'd stay away. So that mostly kept them out. They would also plant, in some areas, they would plant perimeters around their gardens of squash, and the prickly squash vines. Deer don't really like the feel of that, so it would kind of keep them out. But what we did here, we're not. I have never hunted anything in my life. I think only one or two of the people on this property have ever hunted anything, I think. So there's not a whole lot of experience there, so we're not going to rely on that. So we needed something small that would still work. And what we found was clear fishing line. Deer have decent vision, but clear fishing line is almost invisible during the day, and in the evening it becomes almost impossible to see it. Deer are very cautious, and they do not like anything that they feel but can't see, especially if it's around their legs. So with a deer being about this tall, or somewhere in here, um, we have one set of fishing line at 2 feet and one at 3 feet high. So that would be about, between the knee and the hip joint on a deer. So ideally, hopefully, what we are hoping will happen is if any deer get interested in what's going on over here, they will nose around, they'll come up, and they will bump against the fishing line. They'll feel it, they don't see it, so they don't want to go in, and they can't see it, so they don't know how far it extends. They don't know what the obstruction is, so they won't try to jump it. That's what we're hoping. That's the idea. We had left some path areas here to get so that we can get a truck through to the woods, or a riding mower down in between the paths there. So we have gates at the ends, and this was actually kind of fun. I had to do a little tying up here. So tie it here at this end, and just have a. Let's see if I can get this here. There you go. It comes off. This has the fishing line attached to it. So just take that, and it's open. So there we go. That's it. Clear fishing line. I think I used about a third or a quarter of the roll. Let me see if I can get this in a more comfortable. There we go. There we go. Now you can actually see. Hi. Yeah, so just put in, we had some metal posts lying around. I think there are a couple down there. Can't really see them. They're smaller. Still, they're posts that are just kind of sticking up. So what we will probably do, what we're hoping to do with these, is plant stuff around them. The taller posts, we can hang planters from them. That will also mark them so that, if somebody's stumbling around at night. I don't know if maybe we will, maybe at the posts where we have the gates, we'll probably hang, either paint them or hang a different planter there so that people will know, because we have a lot of little kids running around, so sometimes they need something big and bright and obvious, like, hey, this is the gate, the rest of this has fishing line, so if you don't want to get clotheslined, stay away from this section. But yeah, so making it look more natural and not just a big old metal thing sticking up out of the ground. So we'll plant plants around them. Yeah, I think it's gonna look pretty good. Right now, just kind of looks, we've kind of joked that from the air, it kind of looks like we're burying bodies. We're not burying bodies, we're burying seeds. We are planting life and not corpses. So yeah, our tomatoes are getting big. One of these days I need to look up how to prune squash and then do a video on pruning tomatoes and squash. It has really helped our plants to stay focused rather than getting all over the place. So that's been nice. We will probably be digging more beds, and when things come up, I'll probably do a video showing you what we've planted and why and how to use them. But until then, this is going to be about it. Another thing, if you are not familiar with the concept of a rain barrel, you need to look into it. I don't remember the exact equation, but there is an equation for looking up how many gallons of water fall on your roof every year. Actually, I found the calculations online. There's like a gallon per square foot ratio. So what we found was this area gets like about an average of 46 inches of precipitation a year. Now, that ladder, I don't know why that ladder's there. But yeah, so a roof of this size, and now this looks huge. This looks like a cathedral from here. It's just an outbuilding. But this is about 1,200, maybe 1,300 square feet. At 46 inches of precipitation a year, that comes to between 35 and 40,000 as in 40,000 gallons of water per year that land on this roof. And this is just an outbuilding. The house is about the same size. The grandparents' house is a bit smaller, and we have another outbuilding that is of a similar size. So we are looking at well over 100,000 gallons of water a year that falls on the roof. Now, we can't drink it because of what's on the roof, but it is fantastic for watering plants. That's what I've been using to water the trees that I've transplanted. So, rain barrel. Basic idea of a rain barrel. You connect it to your gutter. Now, it's not connected yet, but you connect it to your downspout. This is plastic. Preferably a BPA-free plastic, so you don't have it leaching into your well. Actually, that's not ideally, yeah, because you don't want plastics running off into your groundwater. But if you're not going to be drinking it, it's not as important, especially considering all the other stuff that's going to be on the roof. This is a newer roof, so we don't have asbestos concerns, but there's other artificial stuff that they put up there, so we're not going to drink it. But yeah, so you hook it up in there, make sure it has a mesh screen to keep out debris and mosquitoes. And then it has a spigot down at the bottom. Now this one, I know it kind of looks like wood, but it's plastic. This one is nice because it has a flat back. So that's really nice. You can put it up against the side of the house, the building in this case. So yeah, you just set it up. We used cinder blocks to get it high enough to fit a bucket underneath. A bucket or gallon jugs. The water main was shut off in this area a week or so ago, so we bought several jugs of water to get us through the couple days that it took well, it only took them a couple hours to fix it, but then they advised that because they'd opened up the water main, that it would take a couple days to make sure that the water was clean. So we were going through a lot of water. Eventually, we'd like to get a water filtration system, but that's going to be a while. So if we ever do that, I will definitely do a video on that. So yeah, we have a bunch of gallon jugs, so I use those for watering the plants and the trees and whatnot. But yeah, that's the basic concept of a rain barrel. The great thing about a rain barrel, besides putting it in buckets or anything, is that it's not open, so it's not as likely to breed pests, breed mosquitoes and whatnot. Somebody left the door to the chicken run open. The chickens are escaping. This will be interesting. I need to catch this on video. Hey, chickie-doos. Go, go, go. You can't be here. Nope, go back in. Go on. Shoot. In you get. It is for your safety. Go on, go on. Go, go, go. Nope. Bye-bye. Nope, this way. Come on. Go, go, go. Very good. Good, good. All right. Now, I need to lock this. Find out why it is not locked. All we do is put this down here, wedge it shut. Honestly, that might be why. It may have just worked loose. In that case, I don't have anyone to blame except myself, because I invented this system for us. So, need to figure that out. That is part of the stewardship of having animals, is if something goes wrong, you got to take care of them. Now I need to count them to make sure that we have enough. So that'll be interesting. So yeah, that's it. I'll let you know when we have the next video up, and should be having 2, maybe 3 videos a week, possibly 4. I don't know. I don't have this planned too much. That planning will come at a later stage, and see you then.